Do you know if you're eating these toxic foods? Do you know what a bioengineered food is? Does it sound like something you want to eat? Does it sound like it's safe for you and your family to consume? Hey there, I'm Sheri Johnson. I'm a certified holistic health and life coach, and I own Empowered Health Coaching. I'm going to link to my blog post on this same topic in the description, and it's going to have all the links for my research. So this video is to bring awareness and not to create fear. Knowledge is power if you take action. So let's talk about what bioengineered or BE foods are, whether they are safe to eat, which foods are now bioengineered, and how to tell. What are bioengineered foods? Per the United States Department of Agriculture, or USDA's website, a bioengineered food is a food that contains genetic material that has been modified through certain laboratory techniques and for which the modification could not be obtained through conventional breeding or found in nature. BE or bioengineered foods are regulated by the FDA, the USDA, and the EPA. In 2016, Congress passed a law requiring labeling for some foods produced through genetic engineering and uses the term bioengineered, which will start to appear on some foods. Bioengineered or BE foods are the same as genetically modified organisms or GMO foods. The USDA decided that bioengineered foods was easier to understand and sounded so much better. No matter what you call it, your food is being altered genetically and isn't real food. Bill Gates and the WEF promote GMO foods. Bill Gates is now into altering meats and dairy as well. Need I say more? Just another rabbit hole to explore. Are bioengineered foods safe to eat? Well, if you ask the FDA, the USDA, the EPA, Bill Gates, WHO, or WEF, absolutely. You decide. Per the FDA website, genetic engineering is a process that involves identifying the genetic information or gene that gives an organism, which is a plant, animal, or microorganism, a desired trait, copying that information from the organism that has the trait, inserting that information into the DNA of another organism, then growing the new organism. My question is the organism really the same organism once it is bioengineered? For instance, is that tomato the same? No, it is now a new organism. Should they even be able to call it a tomato? Inquiring minds want to know. It sounds to me like they're creating frankenfoods. How do we know they're safe for human consumption? Are we the guinea pigs? And will we find out 10, 20, 50 years later? Oops, that was a bad idea. Or is it not even traceable back to our health issues? The plants are altered to allow chemicals like Roundup or glyphosate to be sprayed on them, and they won't die, but the weeds around them will. You can't just wash off Roundup. It is absorbed into the plant and your produce. Roundup is also sprayed on wheat right before harvesting to dry out the wheat faster so they can bring it to market faster. I don't believe they have to label this wheat as bioengineered or GMO because they don't alter the wheat genetically. The WHO stated on their website, GMO foods currently available on the international market have passed safety assessments and are not likely to present risks for human health. Not likely. In addition, no effects on human health have been shown as a result of the consumption of such foods by the general population in the countries where they have been approved. But according to EWG, or the Environmental Working Group, way back in 2015, they published an article called Monsanto's GMO Herbicide Doubles Cancer Risk. Monsanto's GMO herbicide is Roundup or glyphosate. Why are they still allowed to use Roundup on our food? All other mainstream articles say, no, GMO foods are safe to eat. GMO foods are just the same as non-GMO food. In my opinion, They can't be the same. They're genetically different. I'm going to err on the side of caution. How about you? So, which foods are bioengineered? Per the USDA's website, this is the current list, and as their webpage indicates, new BE products continue to be developed. They say they update their list annually. However, I don't see a date as to when it was last updated or when they will update it again. So here's the list. Alfalfa, Apeel, the Arctic varieties, which is Golden Delicious, Granny Smith, and Fuji. Canola, corn, cotton, eggplant, which is the BARI or berry BT begun varieties. Papaya, which is the ring spot virus resistant varieties. Pineapple, which is the pink flesh varieties. Potato, salmon, or by Aqua Advantage, that's AQU Advantage. Soybean, squash, the summer variety, and sugar beet. Sugar beet is used as sugar in most of your foods. Remember that. Each food on the list has a PDF link that explains more. So I'm going to link to my blog in this description below so you can get all the links I've used or research and be able to look at each of those different products. So how to tell if your food is bioengineered. Per the FDA's website, the standard requires that by 2022, food makers, importers, and certain retailers label foods that are bioengineered or have bioengineered ingredients. At that time, foods sold in the US that meet the definition of bioengineered food must have information on their packaging using one of the approved methods, including text on the package that says bioengineered food, the bioengineered food symbol, or directions for using your phone to find the disclosure. So here are the labels that you might see. But they are not required to use that labeling, so you will have to be more diligent to know if you are eating bioengineered foods. On some food labels, they will put the words contains bioengineered food ingredients, or you may find a digital link such as a QR code or a phone number that you can text. You really have to look for it. It is not highlighted at all and tends to kind of blend in with the other text on the label near the ingredients, from what I've seen. The standard also exempts food served in restaurants or similar retail food establishments, which are defined as cafeterias, lunchrooms, food stands, food trucks, transportation carriers such as trains or planes, saloons, taverns, bar, lounge, other similar establishment operated as an enterprise engaged in the business of selling prepared food to the public, salad bars, delicatessens, and other food enterprises located within retail establishments that provide ready-to-eat foods that are consumed either on or outside the retailer's premises. Apparently, there are also exceptions to the labeling requirements. So, BE, or bioengineered foods that are used to make non-food products, don't need to be labeled. So I'm thinking that might be like cotton products that are used in clothing. Animals that are given BE feed are excluded because theoretically, the BE DNA is broken down by the animal's digestive system. So this BE DNA is not stored anywhere in the animal's body after digestion. In my opinion, I find that hard to believe. How about you? Highly processed foods like corn syrup or soybean oil, which are almost always BE or GMO, aren't required to carry the label, even if they are derived from BE plants, because the genetic material is removed during preparation. How? I would love to know, so I know how to remove it from anything I eat. The labeling rules also won't apply if foods are developed through the newer gene editing techniques like CRISPR. That's CRISPR. Go research that. It's used to change an organism's DNA because they don't contain DNA from other organisms and mimic the spontaneous genetic variation that occurs through natural selective breeding. Personally, I would like to know when gene editing techniques are used on my food. How about you? As always, please do your own research. Know what you are eating. It matters to your health. Bioengineered or GMO foods are not real food. The DNA of the produce is being altered through CRISPR technology and other means. The plants are altered to allow chemicals like Roundup or glyphosate to be sprayed on them, and they won't die. What other chemicals are they also using on the plants that won't kill them, that we may be consuming? Per EWG, or Environmental Working Group, we learned that GMO foods may double your chance of getting certain cancers. Our bodies may not know what to do with bioengineered or GMO food. Any toxins consumed through these foods are not just automatically excreted from your body. Your body may store them away from your vital organs to keep you alive and encapsulate them in your fat. This may create inflammation in your body, potentially leading to all kinds of health issues. If you go out to eat, assume you may be consuming bioengineered or GMO foods, since they don't have to specify. How can we stop this madness in our foods? Vote with your dollar. Don't buy any foods labeled as GMO or bioengineered. Be diligent to read your food labels. Theoretically, foods labeled as organic can't also be GMO or bioengineered. Buy organic whenever possible. There will be a link to which produce you should buy organic in the description. If you did not hear my video on Apeel, that can be used on organic produce. So keep that in mind too. It's APEEL, Apeel. I'll link to that below also in this video. Get to know your local farmers, learn their growing practices, and buy from them if possible. Also learn to grow your own food and or find a CSA, which is a community-supported agriculture, and join. So what are your plans to stop this frankenfood madness? What will you change, if anything? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye for now.